Welcome to the Lose Weight, Live Life podcast. If you're someone who would do anything to lose weight, yet finds it impossible to stick to a diet, to eat less, or just what you think you should, this podcast is for you. I am your host, certified life and weight mindset coach Claire MACKENZIE. Listen in to learn how to stop overeating, lose weight for the last time, and create a relationship with food and yourself that you love, all without diet deprivation and self-sabotage. Hi everyone, and a very warm welcome to the Lose Weight, Live Life podcast, episode number 101. Today I want to talk to you about why having a mindset coach, whether that's to work with you privately in a small group environment or in a larger program like the Academy, will help you create the relationship with food that you want so that you can manage your weight for life more quickly than doing it without mindset and coaching support. But first, I want to let you know that the autumn 2022 enrolment in the Lose Weight Live Life Academy, which is the last enrolment this year, will close on Monday, the 26th of September at midnight. I would love to have you join us and an amazing group of women to help you create a relationship with food that you love and discover how to manage your weight for life. What I love about having members enroll at this time of year is that they get to learn all the tools and strategies and have the mindset coaching support to make fundamental changes before Christmas, so that they can truly experience loving how they eat at Christmas without feeling out of control, sluggish from overeating, and finding themselves heavier than they want to be in January. And a former member shared these words. She said, "I started the Academy in November, and by Christmas I had lost 1.5 stone. My relationship with food had changed completely. But I approached Christmas with trepidation because I thought I would put it all back on. And then Claire did a session on how to plan for Christmas. I gave myself a 2-week Christmas period window. I planned what I was going to do every day and didn't deprive myself. I had treats. 2 weeks later, I was shocked to find that I had lost 0.5 pound. But even more importantly, I was in control for the whole of that 2-week Christmas holiday period. And that just made me feel amazing." And I also just want to let you know that that particular member went on to lose 4 stone. Okay, so if you would like to join the Academy, please go to www.thebestyou.coach/enroll22 and check out all the details about what's included in the coaching program and the enrollment options. Okay, so let's get on with this podcast episode, the mindset coaching difference. Let's start with considering the 2 parts to this. Number 1, mindset work, and number 2, why having the support of a coach is critical. So let's address the mindset part first. And I want to start by saying that when you join a Lose Weight, Live Life or a My One Life program, you get much more than mindset help and support. So mindset is just one of the 4 areas we dive deep into, which look at what's happening in your body, in your brain, with your mind, the mindset part, and with your emotions. And we look at those 4 areas initially focusing on your relationship with food, but we also consider your relationship with yourself and your life. But for now, I'm going to focus on mindset on this podcast episode today. So a quick Google gave me this definition and description of mindset. And Google said, your mindset is your collection of thoughts and beliefs that shape your thought habits. And your thought habits affect how you think, what you feel, and what you do. Your mindset impacts how you make sense of the world and how you make sense of you. And I think definition, description will do for now, okay? So thoughts and beliefs. A thought is a sentence in your mind that you may or may not be aware of, and your beliefs are simply thoughts that you think over and over again to the point where you believe them, which is that essentially they become your truth. And what I think is useful to know or remember is that confirmation bias plays a role in forming our beliefs. So confirmation bias, which is a type of cognitive bias, is when our brain filters in evidence to support what we're thinking, helping us to build foundations for our beliefs, whilst at the same time filtering out evidence to the contrary. We often unknowingly filter our interpretation of news stories, for example, paying more attention to stories that support an existing way of thinking that will lead us to strengthen our belief about a particular topic, whilst filtering out those news stories that don't align with our current way of thinking. And we just do this unknowingly. So going back to the definition mindset from Google, your mindset is your collection of thoughts and beliefs that shape your thought habits. and your thought habits affect how you think, what you feel, and what you do. So let's work that backwards for a moment. Let's start with what you do. Now, in your relationship with food, that will include what you eat, how you eat, when you eat, whether you walk or keep yourself hydrated, whether you emotionally eat or overeat, all the things. What you do is determined by how you feel, and a feeling is a one-word description of a vibration in your body. So you may notice that you eat differently when you're anxious compared to when you're calm, that you eat differently when you're lonely compared to when you are not sure what the opposite of lonely is, maybe comforted or content. You may eat differently when you're bored compared to when you're focused. And what determines how you feel is what you think and believe, also known as your mindset. And what determines how we eat is not only our mindset, our thoughts and beliefs about food, although that's certainly a very significant part of it, but what also determines how we eat when we have a habit of using food to help us to feel better, which, by the way, is very normal and something that most of us who are overweight have learned to do because it works, at least in the short term, and because food is extremely readily available to us. So what I was saying there is that in addition to your mindset, your thoughts and beliefs about food playing a significant part in the relationship with food that you have, which determines the weight that you all are, our mindset about other aspects of our life is also incredibly important. What we think and feel about other people, what we think and feel about our relationships, what we think and feel about our life in general, about our daily routines or our work routines, and importantly, what we think and feel about ourselves is a significantly and hugely important part of our relationship with food and how we are eating. So if you like to eat to feel better and you think that living alone is miserable because you wish you were with someone special, then it's highly likely that you comfort eat. Whereas if you love living alone because of the freedom it gives you, you wouldn't feel the need to comfort eat. Now, our ways of thinking and our beliefs are the result of our thoughts about everything in our life up to this point in time. They've been formulating your thoughts and beliefs for decades. And this means that it takes work and time to shift them. And I call this changing of thoughts and beliefs doing the work. Doing the work of changing your relationship with food involves learning how to observe yourself. And that means observing your thoughts and feelings. And then once you've observed yourself, you need to make sense of them. You need to understand your thoughts and feelings and how they are driving you to do certain things or blocking you from doing other things. And then once you understand them, you're going to want to explore ways to change them or not to respond to them in the way that has led you to become a different weight to the weight that you want to be. And doing this takes time. It takes practice. It takes failing at it. It takes learning from failing at it. You may make a slight shift in a response, but then you need to keep going until you embody a new way of thinking and feeling that is aligned with you having the relationship with food, a way of eating that makes it easy to lose weight and manage it for life. And this is the secret to permanent weight loss. This is fundamentally different to dieting. So let me give you a few examples. This could look like habitually clearing your plate at dinner because maybe you weren't allowed to not do that as a child, or because maybe you were rewarded by having a clean plate by being given a pudding as a child, to learning to naturally pause when you're full and leaving food on your plate, which could lead you to realizing you don't want to eat as much, which could lead you to serving a smaller portion and also serving a portion of food which maybe you eat for lunch for the next day, all because you start to recognize how good it feels to not overeat at dinner time. So then you have more energy after your meal. So then maybe you go for a walk, and that all contributes to you changes that you are making that enable you to be the person that has the relationship with food that you want. And this is all building from making a change in how you think about clearing your plate at dinner time. Okay, another example, maybe you believe it's polite to accept food when it's offered to you, such as having a piece of cake that your work colleague baked on their birthday. So that's what you always do because you were brought up to be a polite person. It's good to be polite, and being polite means saying, yes, please, I would love a piece of your cake that you've baked. What you may want to replace that belief with is believing that you being the weight that you want to be and feeling physically and emotionally energized and healthy is far more important than the fleeting few seconds of disappointment your work colleague may feel, or they may not even feel anything at all and not notice if you say no thank you to that piece of cake. Okay, so those are just a couple of examples, and I want you to know that in your life there will be hundreds, if not thousands, of these very small habits or ways of being that once you start changing one of them, you create a ripple effect, okay? And once you sort of start on that sort of, often we feel like we're on a spiral, like we're either spiraling up in our life or down. Once you start your journey sort of spiraling by making one small positive change, others will start to come easier and easier and easier, and you will build momentum. Changing your mindset is about who you are being. It's about learning to show up in your life as a version of you that thinks and feels and acts like a person who is the weight they want to be and has the relationship with food that they want. The mindset part of this work that we do in the Lose Weight, Live Life Academy is really significant. And as I said before, it integrates with the work that we do with your body, your brain, and your emotions. Okay, so on to the coaching part. Here's the thing about our mindset, our thoughts and beliefs. It's impossible for us to be objective in seeing our own thinking because so often our thoughts feel like our truth or the truth or even factual to us. We are all fish in water when it comes to weight loss thinking. And what I mean by that is just like a fish is unaware of the water in which it swims, we are unaware that our thoughts and beliefs are not truths. They are not facts. We can't even see that they are just one way of thinking about something and that there are alternative ways of thinking because it's just who we are, it's what we believe. And this is where coaching comes in. Coaching helps you proactively uncover the truth in your thinking and belief systems. The way that I see it, we can learn passively or we can learn actively. Passive learning is what you're doing right now by listening to this podcast. I'm presenting some ways of thinking to you. Some of you will accept some of them and reject others, and others of you will be accepting and rejecting different things that I say based on your current mindset and the current thoughts and beliefs that are your truth. So just by listening to this podcast, you may make a very tiny mindset shift that is like one piece of a puzzle being put in place. But you will need to hear similar things another 10, 100 times before you complete the picture and make a shift that's significant enough to change how you feel and what you do. What coaching does, it helps you to find those other parts of the jigsaw puzzle intentionally, proactively, on purpose, so that you can step into being that version of you that has the relationship with food that you want way more quickly. You're not leaving finding the pieces of that puzzle to chance. You've got someone partnering with you to help you find them. Coaching also helps you get unstuck by helping you find the roadblocks in your thinking that seem impossible to get past and so are holding you back. And these include roadblocks both to get you started on your weight loss journey and the roadblocks as you move forward on it. One of my biggest roadblocks for me to really make progress with losing weight was my beliefs around time. I believed that I didn't have time to lose weight. That felt like an absolute fact to me. And my evidence was, my thoughts underpinning it was because I was a working mum with a full-time job and a family to run and children to look after who at that time were doing loads and loads of after-school activities. I believed I needed time to lose weight. I believed giving time to weight loss would mean that I couldn't do so well at work or I would be taking time away from my children. I also had an underlying belief that compared to how I showed up at work and took care of my kids, that doing something for me was on some level selfish. I believed that being selfish meant I wouldn't be the type of mum I wanted to be. But these, what felt like statements to me, that felt like absolute truths, were thoughts. They were not the truth. Because if we think about it, is it true that you need time to lose weight? And I know that I'm guessing that the majority of you will say, well, yes, absolutely to that question, because I would have done too. And so, of course, you could argue it either way, but it's not fact. You lose weight, generally, by not putting certain foods in your mouth or not eating as much food. And that doesn't take time. Of course, I was telling myself that planning, shopping, food prepping takes longer than not doing those things. Okay, it makes total sense. Even now I can see the rationale in my thinking. But the truth is that didn't take up more time than it saved me. I now believe that having 20 or so go-to meals that I plan and prepare repeatedly saves me a massive amount of time and mental energy. I choose to believe this because it feels empowering. I choose to think it's important to set an example to my children when it comes to taking care of my health and well-being, so that I no longer see this as selfish, but something that is my parental responsibility to live by, to be an example of, to show them that it's okay for them to put themselves first and take care of their health and emotional well-being too. Okay, so another part of the mindset and coaching difference is helping you to see failure and messing up as a part of the process to be embraced and not judged. Most of the women in the academy, as I did, find it difficult to embrace their mess ups and overeating. This is because dieting has taught us that when we aren't sticking to the diet, we're failing. And society has taught us that failing in that way or in other ways is wrong or bad or shouldn't be happening, that it means something negative. It's very normal, very preconditioned thinking, because there's so much evidence to support this in our life, in our world. Okay, whether that's from the diet industry, life, our friends, our family, even, our experience of being at school and doing badly at tests taught us that failure was wrong, that it was a bad thing. The thing is that failing in this way is a necessary part of changing your relationship with food. You have to fail, you have to overeat, you have to mess up, you have to allow life to happen and get in the way and make things difficult for you and create obstacles. Because when we do that, we learn what we need to learn through lifelong change by failing. Some of you will find this very uncomfortable belief. Others of you may believe me conceptually, but find that when you mess up or fail, all of the default thoughts and feelings come flooding over you, and you find it very difficult to not feel frustrated or disappointed or to judge yourself or to feel shame. Coaching helps you heal and overcome this very natural and powerful way of being. Coaching supports you through the process of loving yourself through your mess-ups and failures, and teaches you, importantly, how to support yourself. Because for most of us, this feels very alien. Mindset coaching makes the difference to your weight loss journey because we only know how to be as we are. Changing can feel daunting, frustrating, challenging, sometimes even impossible when you're trying to do it alone. But with coaching support, you get help to manage and allow these emotions so that you can experience them without having to hold you back or keep you stuck. And you also have help to change them so that you feel empowered or in control or excited and free. And coaching also helps you learn whether allowing them or changing them is the right approach for you at any given point in time. So if you're not in a Lose Weight, Live Life or My One Life program, I do encourage you to come and join us. I would love to coach you and support you and help you become the version of you that has the relationship with food that you want so that you can be the weight you want to be. Because you are already her, you are already that person. You have all of the wisdom you need within you, and coaching and mindset support is going to help you find that wisdom and bring it to the surface and let it help you with your life. Or the autumn 2022 enrollment in the Lose Weight, Live Life Academy, which is our last enrollment this year, closes at midnight on Monday the 26th of September. We spend the first 3 months giving you all the coaching tools, as well as supporting and coaching you so that you can create the relationship with food that you want. And then we dig deeper into what's going on with your relationship with yourself and your life to also see how that is impacting your eating and help you make mindset changes there too. If you would like to learn more about the Lose Weight, Live Life Academy and the different enrollment options, please go to www.thebestyou.coach/enroll22. And if you're listening to this after the 26th of September, please do email support@weightwhispering.com to get all the latest information on the next Academy open date and details of other Lose Weight, Live Life and My One Life programs. All right, thank you for listening, everyone, and I hope you have an amazing weekend. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and are ready to live a more intentional life, lose weight as a part of that journey, and create a relationship with food and yourself that you love, then I would be honoured to have you join the Lose Weight, Live Life Academy membership and coach with me. The programme offers different levels of support to suit you, including self-paced learning, twice weekly calls, private coaching, an amazingly caring community, and lots more. Find out all the details about when and how you can join at www.thebestyou.coach/coaching.